Welcome to Echoes of Time, a journey into the forgotten worlds and the secrets they left behind.
For decades, there's been this silent, incredibly dangerous rivalry unfolding in the Middle East between Iran and Israel. But here's the thing, what used to be a conflict fought in the shadows is now bursting out into the open. So let's dive into this really complex history and figure out what it could all mean for the world. And look, this isn't some history lesson. This is happening right now. After years and years of these covert attacks and sneaky intelligence ops, we are now seeing direct military strikes. We're talking military bases on high alert, global powers picking sides, and it's all happening right out in the open for everyone to see. And this all leads to the one really unsettling question that everyone is asking. You've got this super technologically advanced military powerhouse in Israel, backed by the West, and then you have Iran, a huge regional power with a massive arsenal of missiles and a whole network of allies. So how on earth did we get to this point? And maybe more importantly, where is all this headed? To really understand what's happening now, we have to go back in time. And what you're going to find might actually surprise you. Because before they were sworn enemies, Iran and Israel, they were actually quiet partners. I mean, the difference before and after 1979 is like night and day. It's just incredibly stark. Before that year, when the Shah was in power, Iran was one of the very few Muslim-majority nations that actually had diplomatic ties with Israel. They were trading resources, sharing critical intelligence on enemies they both had, and even working together on military projects. But after 1979, everything changed. The new leadership cut all ties and took on this deeply, deeply hostile stance. So yeah, it all boils down to this single event, the 1979 Iranian Revolution. And this wasn't just a change in who was in charge, it was a fundamental shift in ideology that completely rewrote the rulebook for the entire Middle East. This is the moment that turned these two former partners and set them on a collision course. But that collision didn't happen overnight. Nope. Instead of an all-out direct war, the two nations slipped into something that analysts call a shadow conflict. This was a rivalry that went on for almost 40 years, fought just out of the public eye. And this whole period, it shaped the very nature of their conflict today. So what exactly is a shadow conflict? Well, think of it as a state of rivalry where countries use all these covert operations, secret missions, cyber attacks, to weaken and disrupt each other, all while trying very, very carefully not to start a full-blown war. It's all about being able to deny you did anything and keeping things from just spiraling out of control. And the tactics they used in the Shadow War were very specific. This wasn't armies clashing on a battlefield. No way. This was fought with cyber attacks that targeted critical infrastructure, assassinations of key scientists, secret military strikes on weapons shipments, and these super complex spy operations happening all over the globe. Iran's main strategy in this shadow war was to build what it calls the axis of resistance. Now what's that? It's a network of regional allies and militias. You've probably heard of groups like Hezbollah and Lebanon or the Houthi rebels in Yemen that lets Iran challenge Israel indirectly. It creates this buffer, this distance, that gives them plausible deniability when attacks happen. Now, Israel's approach was completely different. They leveraged their big advantages, technology and intelligence. Their whole strategy focused on these incredibly sophisticated and coordinated precision airstrikes, hitting Iranian military sites and weapons transfers, especially in places like Syria. For years, this shadow war kind of stayed contained. It had its rules, its limits. But recently, that delicate balance has been completely, totally upended. The retaliatory strikes have become more frequent, more bold, and that line between a covert operation and open warfare has started to just disappear. And to really get the stakes here, you have to look at their different military playbooks. Israel has one of the world's most advanced conventional militaries, right? Sophisticated tech, a powerful alliance with the US. Iran, on the other hand, has focused on what's called asymmetric strategies. So instead of trying to match Israel's army one for one, it relies on a huge arsenal of ballistic missiles, advanced drone warfare, and that regional network of partners. It makes for a really unpredictable balance of power. So with this conflict now fully out in the open, military analysts are trying to figure out what could happen next. And based on what we're seeing, there are basically three potential scenarios that could play out as these tensions keep climbing. Okay, so the first is a limited conflict. Think targeted strikes, followed by a whole lot of diplomatic pressure, and then a ceasefire. The second, and much more dangerous possibility, is a full-on regional war. This would pull in allies like Hezbollah and militias all across Syria and Iraq, and it could totally disrupt global energy markets. And then there's the third, and honestly the most concerning scenario, a global escalation, where major world powers get drawn directly into the fight. It is so important to remember that this did not just happen in a vacuum. The missile strikes and the high alerts we see today are the direct result of 40 years of rivalry, of these deep, deep ideological divides, and this relentless strategic competition for influence in one of the most sensitive regions on the entire planet. And so, as the world watches, this is the question that's echoing across every global headline. The decisions that are made in the coming days and weeks by military and political leaders, they're going to determine the answer. Will diplomacy win out, or are we on the brink of a much larger, much more dangerous confrontation?
This was Echoes of Time. If you love powerful history stories, subscribe and continue the journey with us.